Hi, I'm going to show you how to make skin cream today. You've got the recipe for it in module 8 on the skin. I'm the same as you, I'm going to have to follow the recipe. I'm going to show you how to perform a little bit of alchemy. We're going to mix oil and water together so that they make a cream. Woo! So exciting. So the first thing I've got here is a small saucepan with some boiling water at the bottom there. On top of that I am going to place a heat-proof glass bowl. There you go. In the recipe instructions I have said that you can use a temperature, a cooking thermometer to test the temperature of that, but I know a lot of you won't have cooking thermometers, so I'm going to do it without a cooking thermometer and show you how to do it that way. These are digital scales and I need 7 grams of the emulsifying wax. There's a ordinary little plastic pot, zero it, add 7 grams. Now, if you haven't got a digital scales, that 7 grams is around about, this is a dessert spoon, it's around about a heaped dessert spoon, and it's got to be heaped. Put that in the bowl, that can turn off. To that I'm going to add 20 mils of oil. Now I've got grapeseed oil, it's just come from the local supermarket, it's fine. You can buy it from a health provider if you want, but I always find that this is good. Here's my measuring cylinder, into that goes 20 mils. And again, if you haven't got a measuring cylinder, take your dessert spoon, and it's around about 2 of these that we're putting in. So 1, 2. So 20 mils is equal to about 2 dessert spoons. Give that a bit of a stir up together. That emulsifying wax is going to melt into the oil pretty soon. There you go, that's more or less melted. And to that I'm going to add the water stage ingredients, which is water and glycerine. I've boiled some water in the kettle, so we need 70 mils of that. This is an ordinary kitchen measuring jug, so it's probably what you're going to have in your kitchen. Unfortunately it's only measured in 100 mils, but I'm going to give it a guess because fortunately for this we don't need to be too accurate. So somewhere in between the two, and that's about 70 mils of water. I'm going to add that in there. And then the glycerine, we only need 3 mils of this, and to measure that I'm going to use a medicine spoon. This is a 5 mil medicine spoon. They usually have a marking in the inside of them, you won't be able to see it on that, which marks out 2.5 mils, but we're going to use 3 mils, which means we're going to go slightly above that 2.5 mil mark. You can also get 2.5 mil measuring spoons, but these 5 ones are easier because they won't spill. There you go. That's my glycerine there, about 3 mils, and I'm going to add that into the bowl as well. In it all goes. And now I'm going to just mix that all together. I'm just going to leave it for about 5 minutes on a very low simmer. I turn the heat right down on that saucepan, so it's just simmering very, very gently, and that has been now around about 5 minutes. take a cloth, it's going to be very hot, and take the bowl, switch that off first, take the bowl right off the heat there. And now here is the one piece of equipment that you really are going to need, because you're going to need an electric whisk. And this is the fantastic part. Put that in there and whisk it up nicely. And you'll see that it's going all white and frothy in there. And that's what you want it to do. You want it to be that nice white colour. Now, you could be a martyr and do this by hand, but really it is not worth it. These electric whisks are only cheap, and it is worth investing in them if you want to make cream for yourself. Okay, that's had a nice whisk up now. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to leave it to one side to cool down until I can actually touch that bowl and it is only warm to my hands. At the moment I can't touch it because the bowl is too hot. So I'm going to pick that up and leave it to one side. And like all good preparing people, here's one I did earlier. I'm going to get a clean spoon out for that. Now that has been cooling for, I'd say, about 10 minutes, and every now and again I've gone and given it a little stir just with the spoon, not with the whisk. To that I'm going to add some preservative and some vitamin E oil. The preservative stops fungus and bacteria growing in it, and the vitamin E oil stops the oil in that mixture going rancid. If you are only making a small amount for yourself and you're going to use it quite quickly, you do not need to put the preservative in there. I myself prefer not to put preservative in. However, this preservative, preservative 12 by Aromantic, is as natural a product as you can get. So I'm going to make this into a peppermint foot cream to give to a friend of mine. So I'm going to put the preservative in it. And you're going to follow your recipe again. Whoops. Oh dear, that's me being clumsy. Follow your recipe again, and the recipe says 0.6 mils of preservative 12, which is 12 to 15 drops. Now these bottles come with a dropper in them, so I'm going to put 15 drops of this in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, ooh, 15. You have to, sometimes you have to count quickly because sometimes the drops come out very quickly. And I'm also going to add, as your recipe says, 0.5 mils of vitamin E oil. This comes with a dropper in the lid. The problem with vitamin E oil is it's very thick. So I'm actually not going to use the dropper, because if you see, if I turn it upside down, oh, okay, today it's proving me wrong. The drops will come out, but they come out very slowly. That was 1. 2, you can see how slow, oh no, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 drops is equal to half a mil, so that's fine to use it in drop form. If you have got a bottle that hasn't got a dropper on it, you can get a little medicine syringe, probably from a chemist, and measure out the 0.5 mils. I'm also going to use some peppermint oil in there, and again I'm going to put it in dropper form. Now this is a quite wide mouthed container. So I'm going to use the lid, pour some into the lid, and I'm going to use 12 drops of this oil. The peppermint oil that you buy will come in a little bottle, and that will have a dropper on it. But I've only got these big bottles at the moment, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There you go. 1 for luck. That was 12 drops of peppermint oil. And I'm going to give that all a good stir up. Give it a good stir up, otherwise it'll go a little bit lumpy, because what you've done is you've added a little bit of oil to that now. Here's a brown plastic jar. Brown is good because it keeps the light out, and you can usually go to a chemist and ask them to sell you just one of these. If you want more than that, then look on the internet and you'll find a supply. Label, very, very important, the label, because one, you want to know what's in that jar, and secondly, you want to know what date you made it and how long you've kept it. So I am going to put peppermint foot cream on there, and the date today is the 31st of January 2013. That's hard for me to remember. Actually, I'm going to put the label on after, because I might spill some down the outside of the jar. That cream is still very, very slightly warm, so it hasn't completely set yet. It'll carry on setting once I put it in the jar. But at this stage, it's quite manipulative, so it's nice and easy to get in the jar. Once it goes any harder than this, it's going to be too hard to get into the jar. So here we go. Move that out of the way. You can get jars with wider mouths at the top, which is obviously much better. It makes life a lot easier for putting the cream into them. There you go. That amount of cream just about fits into one of those jars. The jar is, it says 4 fluid ounces. Now I don't want to waste any of that cream, so I'm going to get out my beautiful bendy gets everything out of the bowl spatula, and I'm going to scrape all that. Out. Oh, I love that spatula, it's the best thing. And put that all in the jar as well. You might have to just tap it down a little bit so that it all fills up. There we go. Tap that down. Now, as I suspected, I have made a bit of a mess there, so I'm going to just get some kitchen towel. Clean, nice and clean kitchen towel, and wipe that off the rim of the jar. And then put the lid on. If you put the lid on, you'll just get a splodgy mess if you don't clean it up first. And now I'm going to put the label on. There you go. You've got a lovely jar of peppermint foot cream there. Really, really smooth and absorbs into the skin really well. Now, the reason I told you that you don't put peppermint on your body is because peppermint is very, very cooling. So if you put too much of it on your body, you'll go, wah, it's cold. But on the feet, when you've got hot feet, there's nothing better than peppermint. So that cream we had some pure essential peppermint oil in it. If you want to use, or if you want to make just a good body cream, I always recommend lavender. Lavender's a good everyday smell and it makes a really nice body cream. If you want to use it on your face, what I normally use is rose oil, but I've run out of rose oil at the moment because it is expensive. But another very good face oil is jasmine oil. These are all pure essential oils. They're not diluted in any way. You can't use jasmine oil if you're pregnant at all. Don't touch it because it can affect the way, it can make the uterus contract, so don't touch jasmine oil if you're pregnant. The best thing to do, if you haven't had any experience of pure essential oils, the best thing to do is to go to a shop where there is somebody who knows about them, smell a few pure essential oils and get some advice, and choose the ones that you like and that appeal to you. That's it. That's how you make cream. It's all very nice and easy, and you can make that for yourself forever. Once you know the basics, you can experiment and do what you like with it, really. Bye.